Welcome back to our Friday review. It's great to have you here today. Always excited to be able to end the week with our Friday Anything Goes show, where I'm always bringing you the latest updates from the week, whatever we have going on over in our global health community, our functional medicine practice over at Equilife, talking with you about the podcast of the week, who we had on for interviews, kind of my thoughts from that as well, going over a product review pretty much every single week, as well as a book review of the week. I read a lot of books. I love to read. I want to share with you some of my favorites. And of course, I will bring you one or two research studies that I think that you need to know about. So all of this happens in about a 20-minute show. So let's get started. What we have going on right now inside of the private practice, or what we have going on, what I'm most passionate about, is really making 2021 a year of education and empowerment, meaning that I only want to be able to bring you material that then empowers you to be able to make change. Now, sometimes it's not always for your life, right? Sometimes a lot of things that you might be learning on the podcast or inside of IHP or whatever it might be, you're learning those things to be able to pass on to others. Whether it's your own family, your children, your loved ones, your church, your community, whoever it may be, sometimes it's about a greater purpose. And I want to be able to share with you takeaways that I think are going to help massive amounts of people. So what we've done is we've now opened up our enrollment for the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute for the entire month. We are giving people the full month to decide when is the right time for them to sign up. You can learn at your own pace. You can become a certified health coach in as little as 12 weeks for level 1. Level 2, on average, people are taking about 6 months for level 1 and level 2. And you're going to learn all of the different things that you need in order to implement the diet, the exercise, the stress reduction, the toxin removal, the rest and sleep protocols, the scientific supplement-based protocols, the emotional balance-based protocols, and the success mindset. You're going to be able to then teach that to other people as well as, of course, yourself. That's why one of the taglines we use is heal yourself and heal others. Well, for 2021, our motto is now a health coach in every home. That is what I feel that we represent, is teaching one person in every household what they need to know in order to take care of their own family. And the reason why I feel this is so important is that so many of us, when it came to this pandemic, just weren't prepared. But many people were. They already knew about immunity protocols. They already had run food sensitivity tests. They'd already run gut testing. They'd already run things to make sure that their body was in better balance. And that is what I want to teach people, so that you could teach it to everyone in your family. And that's really what it's all about. So really excited about that. We're open right now if you want to go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org, integrativehealthpractitioner.org. And the truth is, you can just download a brochure. You can speak with one of our admissions people that are actual IHP-based people. Like you can just see if it's the right fit for you. But I'm really excited about that this year, and I've got an amazing team helping me out with that. The other item that I want to mention to you is that I am dedicated to creating 1 to 2 new health results accelerators every single month inside of 2021. That means by the end of the year, I want 12 to 15 health results accelerators, which are about 4-hour, essentially, courses that teach you how you became imbalanced, what to do about it, and then how to maintain those results. So right now we have open the thyroid rebalancing one, so the thyroid rebalancing health results accelerator, as well as the female hormones. Very shortly, we'll have one on cardiovascular. We'll have one on blood pressure. We will have one on how to read your own blood work. So we're going to take you through these ones. I'm really excited about it for 2021. We have so many coming out, and so I just wanted to share that with you. So you can check those out over at stephencabral.com/courses. And I will link those up today at stephencabral.com/1799. All of the links from today will be at stephencabral.com/1799. I'm excited to say that tomorrow is episode 1800. If you tune in on the weekends, and I hope that you do, our episode 1800 will be with our Cabral house call, the first Cabral house call of the weekend, answering our community's questions. All right, what do we have going on over at Equilife this year? Well, it is a free $21 $21 gift card of your choice. So a $21 digital gift card that you can use over at Equalife when you purchase $199 worth of protocols, labs, supplements, lifestyle products, you name it. So if you've been thinking about ordering the lab, if you think about doing the daily foundation protocol level 2, any of those items, which again, when you look at it, you're looking at about $6 or so, $7 per day. And again, I'm not saying that it's not insignificant. I'm not saying that at all, but I just think about it. Like I'm holding right now in my hand a decaf coffee that I just got. So this decaf coffee in my eco sleeve and all of this, it's a really nice company. And again, like I want to support them as well. I'm not even going to really drink this, but I take a couple sips and I support my local businesses. And so this right here, again, this is as small as you can get. Most people aren't getting this. This was like $3, right? Most people are spending $5 on a coffee, but overlooking all the great things they could be doing for their health. All right, I don't want to go on a rant right now, but I will let you know is that you're going to get back a $21 gift card for the year 2021 on all purchases over $199 this week over at equi.life. That's EQUI.LIFE. All right. This week's interviews were many of my favorites. This Monday, we went over really the number one, like the big success factor. If you're going to reach your goals this year, I don't want to teach you the how on this podcast. I want to teach you what you're missing in order to implement the how. So, for example, if you want to repair your gut, we know how to help you run that. I mean, like literally, we know how to help you do that. You can run the bacteria and parasite stool lab. You can run the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. You can run food sensitivity testing. It will tell you exactly what you need to do. You could begin to implement the CBO protocol. You could do any of these things, right? So the how is not always the challenging part. It's not. It's not as hard as you would think. There is one factor that holds many people back. So I talk about that on Monday's podcast. That was episode 1795. On Tuesday, 1796, we went over the one diet factor related to cancer and cardiovascular disease. Meaning like, if there's only one thing that you could change, if you just do one thing, eliminate this. Because they found that it increased mortality by 14% for every 10% increase of this particular food in your diet. So check that out. Just go to stephencabral.com and then just go / whatever number that you want. 1796 was that show. 1797 was predictions as to when this virus will end. And it's based on a dozen different corporations of when they are having their employees come back to work in the office that's already been set for 2021. So maybe a little bit of insider information, and then I give you my prediction, which really has not changed, and I'm going to tell you the why. Okay. All right. Plus, I'll give you my take on why flu viruses are down this year. All right. Yesterday, we had Mark Wolin on. I mean, that was an amazing interview. I wanted to interview Mark Wolin for his book because he has this great book, It Didn't Start With You. And he doesn't do a lot of interviews. And when he said yes to being on the show, I was super excited about that. Just a really kind and gentle soul. Loved having him on. If you missed that interview, I can't recommend checking that out enough. It's it's not a topic we've ever talked about in about 1,800 shows on the Cabral Concept. So check that out. It has to do with basically ingrained DNA or genetic-based inherited illnesses or trauma. And so definitely check that out, okay? That was episode 1798. Today, of course, is episode 1799. All right, let's get into our product review of the day. And it is here sitting right beside me on the floor if you're watching this on video. And again, if you're not watching on video, you can always check it out, just my name on YouTube. Okay. So first review is, you know that I'm getting into a new exercise routine. I will share that with you more. I let the cat out of the bag a little bit. Let's see, I let it out of the bag a little bit on Monday's show. I remember mentioning that. But these are, and actually I never looked up how to pronounce this company's name. I think it's just pronounced Zero. It's Xero. I'm assuming it's like the whole, I try to teach my daughters that. It's like, you know, when you have that X there, sometimes it's like xylophone. It's with a Z. I think it's pronounced Zero. I apologize. This is not a sponsored podcast, but it's Zero Shoes. I'm going to link it up today. And if you look at this sneaker, if you're watching on video, It's a very soft sneaker. You can just crush it flat. I love these types of sneakers, whether it be my Nike Frees or my Merrells or my trail gloves, not my trail gloves, my trail running sneakers as well by Itri, I believe is the name of the company. I love to be able to travel with these sneakers. Plus this one right here, the reason why I believe the company's name is Zero, is that this is a completely flat sole. So it is no real arch support, just a little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit, but it's a completely flat sole and there's no rise in the back of the heel. Most sneakers and most shoes have a higher heel than they do forefront of the sneaker where the ball of the foot goes. So most of the shoes that I wear are very flat. Like it's not giving me any height, that's for sure. So the reason why I like it though, is if you have a pitch on the heel, so most sneakers, most shoes have like an inch pitch, what you're looking at is you are going to be tightening that Achilles tendon and that calf a little bit more. And it also can cause what's called an anterior pelvic tilt and a little bit of a sway, that lordosis in the lower back. Unless you're careful. If you know about it, you'll be okay. But I love training in these. I just got a brand new Airdyne bike. That review is coming up next week. You won't want to miss that. This thing is an absolute beast. You'll want to check it out. I've already shared a little bit of it on Instagram, but I'm going to give you my pick versus all the different great Airdyne bikes. Anyway, these sneakers are fantastic for exercise. They're flat. They are soft and they have a little bit more support and a little bit more cushion than my Merrell trail gloves, which by the way are so outdated. They don't even make them anymore. They make a trail glove, but it's not exactly the same. And they also make ones called a vapor glove, and that's closer to what I have. Those are essentially like no material. It's essentially a rubber sole, like you're walking on a rubber tire. It's the Vibram sole, but it's not the 5 fingers. It's a full sole for the sneaker. And those are great. It's essentially walking around barefoot with a little bit of protection on your foot. So if you want just absolute bare minimum, you can look at the Merrell Trail Glove or Merrell Vapor Glove. I will link both of those up. It looks like the quality of those are probably not as high as they used to be, unfortunately, because a lot of people are showing that they tear a bit. My Merrells definitely do not. Like they're old now and they still work great. If you want a big time calf workout for walking, I mean, you will feel it. These things have no cushion, no support, and they're great for that reason. I mean, they just basically protect your foot when running outside from stepping on glass or rocks or anything like that. So again, I'm a big advocate of doing things like this. I got these specifically because in my office, they just stay here because I'm now doing my workouts during the pandemic in my office. I got the equipment here. Stay tuned for more updates on that. But these sneakers just stay here. And then of course, in Boston and in Maine, we get snow and salt. And so I don't want to wear those boots around my office. So anyway, I just keep them there. And also it's just kind of another thing that I did to get myself motivated for these new workouts as well. So anyway, wanted to give a shout out. 0 degrees of pitch, which means they're totally flat. And I'm going to link them up today so you can check them out. They come in a million different colors. For whatever reason, I'm partial to the blue sneakers. Blue New Balance I've got the blue Merrell Trail Gloves. I've now got the blue Zeros. Now I have blue Nike Frees, but I purchased some red sneakers too. So I guess I just purchased loud sneakers. That's basically it. I guess there has to be some fun since I wear a white shirt every single day, but I don't always wear a white shirt. I do when I'm at work. All right. Book review of the week. You know that this, actually, I just mentioned, yes, Mark Wolin and his book. I talked about it on yesterday's show, but it's called It Didn't Start With You. Do I have it right here? No, it's probably sitting. I have so many. If you could see my desk right now, it's a mess covered in about 11, 12 books right now. But Mark Wolin's book, It Didn't Start With You. Excuse me. I talked about it on yesterday's show. So excuse me, I'm not going to give a big review here today, but what I'd like to do is at least link it up in the show notes for you. Okay, the books I did want to talk about are really approachable books for people that are looking to learn more about their body, how their body works, how it maintains homeostasis or a state of equilibrium. And these books I picked particularly because they're good for you and they're also good for children as well. What age? Well, my daughter is 6. She's been really learning about the human body since 4 or 5 years old. She she's very much into, she says she wants to be a doctor and a veterinarian when she gets older. So great. I hope that she becomes both a doctor and veterinarian if that's what she wants to do. I certainly won't push her into that, but certainly that's her career path. Great. But she loves learning about these things. So definitely, if they're interested, 5, 6 years old is totally fine. But really, once they get to be reading and they're 6, 7, 8 years old, 10 years old, these books are fantastic. So I'm holding them up right now. The first one's called Human Body, a Visual Encyclopedia. And I'm going to show you just a little bit in the book. So if you are watching this on video, great, you can check it out. If not, that's okay. You can listen to me go through it. So each different section is labeled what we're looking at. So this page right here, just flip to it. It says looking inside. And it actually shows a CT scan of the brain, an x-ray of the human body with all the different bones. It shows what a baby looks like in utero. Then again, it's all color coded too. If we look at the bones and the muscles, kids can look at let's see, a ballerina here doing her movements. It can show the muscles and the tendons. And then let's say we move over to the blood inside. We look at the red blood cells. We can look at the plasma. We can look at how things work within the body, testing your blood. We look at oxygen. So it's really a nice book. So I think this is pretty fantastic. Coughs and sneezes and how that happens within your body. We look inside of the mouth. So good book. This is called Human Body, a Visual Encyclopedia. I would say this is the better one for engaging more children, I would say, and yourself as well. Again, you'll learn a lot from this book. Inside the lungs right here. So it's a great book. Really nice to just flip through. I mean, are you going to read this cover to cover? Probably not in a sitting, but you could just look at a chapter a night. And again, that's what I talk about. Just kind of look through one a day and move through it, and you learn so much more about your body. This one right here, though, this is called Human Body as well, but it's called Your Amazing Body as You've Never Seen It Before. And this one's by Smithsonian versus the other one is, let's see, well, it says DK, whatever DK is. So you have to check out the inside of this book. And I just flipped to this page. It shows the human body in terms of the muscular, the skeletal. You were looking at the nervous system right here. We're looking at the vascular system, the arteries and the veins. We're looking at the lymphatic system. So, I mean, it's pretty fantastic. I mean, this is an amazing photo. I wish I had this for my office as a huge poster. Then this right here just shows all the muscles, the posterior chain of the body on the backside. We're looking at the endocrine system. So we're looking at where the hormones are, like the adrenals here and the pancreas and the thyroid right there, the butterfly organ under the neck. It's showing, let's just flip to some more interesting ones. So we're looking at the heart right here. Beautiful, beautiful photos. This is the digestive tract. So what I would say is if you're looking for beautiful, high resolution, glossy photos and learning about the body in that way, this is definitely the one. I mean, this is pretty fantastic. That's a small intestine right there. Pretty crazy. I mean, how that looks. And this is the microvilli, what it looks like under a microscope. So it's a fantastic book. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I can tell you for sure that I'll enjoy looking through these, and I know that my daughters will as well. So I'll link those up again today at stephencabral.com/1799. All right, first research study. I want to bring this to your attention. I know that not everyone listens to every day's show, and that's okay. I would love you to listen every single day, but if you missed episode 1796. I gave a research study inside of that show, and I just need to make sure that if you didn't listen to that show that you hear about this, because this study was done just about a year ago. It was published in the Journal of American Medical Association, which is JAMA, very obviously world-renowned journal, highly regarded, read by most medical doctors and most people in the field, if they read journals. I guess, most don't, but anyway. So here's the findings, though. I'm just going to give you just the straight findings. The study was done on 44,551 French people. So when we look at that, that's about 45,000 people, ages 45 years and older, and it was an 8-year study. So this is a real study. And they actually got rid of all the different outliers that could have been issued. And what they found was this, that after the 8 years, there was over 600 different deaths in this study. There was a 10% increase in the proportion of ultra-processed food consumption that statistically was associated with a 14% higher risk of all-cause mortality, with much of it coming from cardiovascular disease and cancer. So you have to understand is that, and I go in depth, and I do hope that you listen to that show, but I go in depth on episode 1796 on the more processed food you have in your diet, and I kind of explain what all of those are because a lot of them are confusing to people. Rightly so, the media does not tell you what they are specifically, and neither do most big food companies. But just having 10% in your diet increases your chance of all-cause mortality by 14%. What if 20% of your diet has processed food in it? Well, now we're jumping up much higher rates, 28%. So it's really important to look at this, and if it's one thing that we can all agree on, whether you're low carb, high fat, low fat, any of these things, it's that we need to eliminate these ultra processed foods. And so definitely check that out. And I will link up the full study here for you today as well. All right, second research of the day. I have it right here in front of me, shuffling my papers. This one, let's see. This one was actually done in Brisbane, Australia, at the University of Queensland, and it was published in the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology. So it says hot flashes and night sweats are linked to heart attacks. The data from 25 different studies covering more than 500,000 women show that those who experience hot flashes and night sweats are at increased risk for non-fatal angina, heart attacks, and stroke. For premenopausal women, the increased risk averages 40%, and for postmenopausal women, 70%. The more severe the symptoms, the higher the risk. If you have either of the symptoms, you should be closely monitoring your heart health. That was the perspective from findings from the study. So again, I will link this up for you, but I mean, how many people, again, we work with thousands and thousands of women. So many are suffering from these particular symptoms. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to share this study with you. If you're working with a functional medicine doctor, a naturopathic doctor, an integrative health practitioner, what you want to do is let them know that you have these particular symptoms and you want to begin to rebalance the body. I also have a health results accelerator that is now out. You can go to stephencabral.com/courses. And you can look into all of the different reasons as to why premenopausal, perimenopausal or menopausal, and postmenopausal women have imbalances inside of the body that can lead to lower mood, irritability, depression, lower libido, dry or sagging skin, loss of muscle tone, brain fog, hot flashes. The symptoms go on and on. But when you understand what's causing this and you understand all the different imbalances it could be, you can go about then rebalancing your body. So again, work with your local practitioner that you trust, or really look into that female hormone results accelerator that is at stephencabral.com/courses. All right. Hopefully this was helpful today. I'll link up all the research for you today at stephencabral.com/1799. And if this podcast was helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. And be sure to tune in tomorrow, episode 1800, for our first Cabral House Call of the weekend. Take care.